You picked Adalo because it's fast. By month 3, you realize speed was the problem, not the solution. And by then, you're looking at 3 months of rework. 3 months your product is frozen. 3 months you're not shipping features your competitors are shipping. 3 months you're bleeding money. I am Anastasia. I help founders diagnose architecture problems before they become disasters. Today, I'm showing you exactly where Adalo breaks and how to plan for it before you hit it. Adalo is fast because it does something smart. It lets you build a data structure around collections. A collection is basically a table. You create a user collection, a project collection, maybe a task collection. Then you connect them with relationships. One user, many projects. One project, many tasks. For a week, perfect. For 2 weeks, still great. But here's what happens next. Your first feature works. The data structure supports it. You add a second feature, still works. Then you realize feature 2 needs to change how data moves through feature 1. Now you're fighting your structure. Adalo is smart, but Adalo is smart in a specific way. And once you exceed that specificity, you're locked into rework. Let me show you where that line is. Adalo collections are optimized for one thing, building screens quickly. Your user collection mirrors your user screen. Your projects collection mirrors your project screen. Everything maps 1.1 to the UI. This is why Adalo feels so intuitive. The data structure matches what you're building. Click a button, add a field, the screen updates. Velocity feels infinite. But here's what Adalo assumes. The data structure that makes sense for the screen also makes sense for the business logic. That assumption is wrong 60% of the time. Example, you're building a SaaS app, user collection, workspace collection, project collection. This matches your UI perfectly. Then you realize users need to be in multiple workspaces with different permissions. Now you need a user workspace role collection that links users to workspaces, but that collection doesn't have its own screen. It's only there for logic. Adalo can handle this, but now you're maintaining multiple collections where the data actually lives versus the collections where the UI assumes it lives. You're fighting the structure. The more features you add, the bigger the gap between data reality and UI assumption. By month 6, that gap kills your product. Here are the 3 moments when Adalo structures fail. First, sharing and permissions. You built your product for single user or single team workflows. Then you realize users want to share things with other users. Now you need a permissions collection that tracks who can do what. Adalo can do this, but your original data structure didn't anticipate it, so you're retrofitting permissions onto collections that weren't designed for them. Every permission rule becomes a filter query. Every page now has 10 filters instead of 2. By month 4, your app is slow because Adalo is running 50 filtered queries on every page load. Second, cross-cutting concerns. Feature A needs something from feature B. But those are in different collections, so you add a linking collection. Then feature C also needs data from A and B. Now you have linking collections connected to linking collections. By month 5, you have 15 collections and nobody knows which ones are real data versus which ones are just relationships. Third, scaling beyond the MVP. Your MVP works, you get users, now you need to add reporting, analytics, or a new feature that touches every part of the app. You realize the data doesn't move the way your new feature needs it to move. You could redesign collections, but you have real data now. Existing users, existing workflows. Adalo isn't flexible enough to handle this without a rebuild. I work with founders who hit this wall. The pattern is always the same. Month 1 to 2. This is amazing. I built in 2 weeks what would take a developer 2 months. Month 3, wait, why is this feature so hard to add? Month 4, the data structure doesn't support what I need. Month 5, I need to rebuild. The conversation with me starts with, I know Adalo is the problem. Should I switch tools? No, the tool isn't the problem. Your architecture is. But here's the cost. If you've been in Adalo for 5 months and you need to redesign, you're looking at 2 options. Rebuild in Adalo with the right structure. 3 months. Your product is frozen, your team is frustrated, you're burning runway and not shipping anything. 6 months. You're hiring engineers, you're managing a rebuild, you're risking breaking what already works, and you're betting the new system won't have its own problems. Both options, you lose. Both cost you the business or cost you your runway. The founders I work with who don't hit this wall did one thing. They decided on the data structure before they touched Adalo. 3 questions answered before they built anything. 1. What are the actual data entities? Not the screens, the entities. User, workspace, project, task, permission. What's real data? What's just a relationship? 2. How will data move as I scale? Not now, 6 months from now. What relationships will break if I add this feature? What permissions do I need? 3. Where am I making assumptions about data that might be wrong? Collections that feel simple now might need to be complex? Where will that hit me? Answer those 3 questions, then design your Adalo structure to answer those questions. Founders who do this, month 10, they're still fast, still building, still scaling. Founders who don't, month 5, they're re-architecting. Adalo is perfect for what it does, rapid UI building, but Adalo should never be your starting point. Your data structure should be, think of it this way. Step 1, decide what your data actually is. Draw it on paper. User, projects, tasks, permissions. What's the shape of your data? Not the screens, the data. Step 2, design Adalo collections to match that data, not to match your UI. Sometimes a collection doesn't have a screen. That's fine, it's there for logic. Step 3, build the UI in Adalo. Now the UI matches the data structure instead of the data structure being forced to match the UI. Founders who reverse these steps hit walls. Adalo didn't fail them, their decision-making did. If you're building in Adalo right now and you're starting to feel that friction, look at your collections. Do they mirror your screens or do they mirror your data relationships? Look at your filters. How many filters are on your main pages? If it's more than 3, your data structure is fighting your UI. Look at relationships. Can you explain in one sentence what each relationship does? Or are you saying this connects this to enable feature 3? That's a symptom. If you're seeing friction, you haven't hit the wall yet, but you're approaching it. That's the moment to decide, keep building and hit the wall, or pause and fix the structure now. Most founders don't pause. They keep building, then month 5 comes and they're paying the price. If this resonates with where you are right now, I do written assessments. You fill out a short form, I read it personally, and I respond with an honest evaluation of whether your Adalo structure will hold or break. The assessment is free. It takes 2 minutes and it tells you exactly whether you need to pause and restructure or whether you can keep going. Link is in the description.